Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So I know that this video is a couple days later than normal, but I decided to take some days off to celebrate the Labor Day holiday with my family. We ended up going out of town over the weekend, and fortunately I do have the rest of this week off, but I decided I cannot let the first week go by without talking about my most anticipated releases of this new month. Now, unlike previous months where I start with my honorable mentions and then go over my top 5, we're going to bypass all honorable mentions this month because there are 7 titles that I currently have pre-ordered that I am planning to pick up in the month of September. So we'll start at number 7 with my least most anticipated and then work our way up to number 1, the most anticipated release of the month. So 7 titles to get through today. So let's not waste any time at all. Let's dive right into my 7 most anticipated releases for September 2024. Kicking things off at number 7 this month is going to be a 2024 horror film that I have yet to see, but definitely want to change that. This is called The Exorcism. This comes out on September 24th from Vertical Entertainment. Now, unfortunately, this one is only getting a Blu-ray release, at least as of right now, but we've seen this happen a lot recently. Imaginary, I think, is the most recent one. That was a horror film that hit theaters in January, hit physical media a few months later on Blu-ray only. Well, now in October, we have a 4K coming. So keep that in mind. This might be one that we do see a 4K upgrade down the line, but if you don't want to wait, you can always grab this Blu-ray. Now, what's disappointing about this release is the fact that there are no special features on this Blu-ray disc at all, at least according to the back of the box. It is completely bare bones, which is really disappointing. If I'm buying something on physical media, I would love for there to be kind of more incentive to pick it up, and unfortunately, that's just not here with this one. What they got right about this one, though, is the price. As of filming, which all of the prices I'll say in this video, of course, are as of me doing my research and filming this. So as of filming, this was only $17.99 on Amazon. So really good price, even if there is a 4K upgrade down the road. Something to consider because it is really cheap, but the lack of special features is really a detriment to me. And of all of the movies on this list, if I can find this one streaming somewhere, because in my research, in my quick research, I couldn't find what platform this would be on, if any. It doesn't look like it's coming to a like Peacock or Max or Hulu or whatever. If I'm wrong, please let me know down below. Save me $18 because I just really want to see this movie. It stars Kurt Russell, who he's actually playing an actor who is playing an exorcist in a film. And so it sounds very fascinating. And then dark things start to happen, and his daughter is trying to figure out, is he back on, back to his old addictions again? Or is there something more sinister going on here? Given that we're watching a horror film of this ilk, I'm guessing there's going to be something supernatural at play here. But I really want to see this movie because of that. So if I can't stream it, I am going to pick it up on Blu-ray, but time will tell. Of all the 7, like I said, this is the one that I could change my mind on as it gets closer to release date, because fortunately, it doesn't come out until the end of the month, so we'll see where this thing is going to land. But on my list so far and pre-ordered, we have The Exorcism from 2024 hitting Blu-ray on September 24th. This is actually a rare case where everything else on this list today I have seen. So coming in at number 6, being released by Disney, is Inside Out 2. This one is coming on September 10th to Blu-ray and 4K, but I do have a lot to talk about with this one. Unfortunately, with this release, the only way to get the 4K is via the 4K Steelbook. And that thing is ridiculously priced. I started off by pre-ordering this 4K Steelbook when it was down to about $41.99, I think it was. But as of filming right now, this Steelbook is up to $51.99, and I have not seen this thing drop below $40 since it went up, which typically, these will start off at an MSRP of about $40, and then by the time they're, all the savings, quote unquote, on Amazon hit, it's going to be a lot cheaper. This one, though, I'd be surprised if you can find this one for under $40 on release day, so keep that in mind. This is such an annoying thing to do to me, in my opinion, because it just makes the 4K inaccessible to some people who don't want to spend ridiculous amounts of money because they don't care about the packaging whatsoever. The fact that it's a steelbook means nothing to a lot of people. So the fact that this is only available in this way is just super disappointing. I don't know why Disney decided to do this, but if you want it on 4K, it is available. You have to go with the very expensive steelbook route though. So like I said, I had that pre-ordered initially, but I said, you know what? I don't want to support this. Like, I don't want to support that business practice. So I'm going to speak with my wallet and I'm not going to purchase it on 4K. Instead, I will pick up the Blu-ray, which is only $24.99. So the fact that to get this on 4K, I have to spend more than double the price right now is utterly insane to me. It's not worth it. I'm not going to support it. If you want to, power to you. I'm not saying anyone should make the decision I'm making, but that's the route I'm going to go, is with the cheaper Blu-ray option to save me some money, because there are a ton of new items coming out this month. So Inside Out 2, I will be grabbing the Blu-ray of. And I should mention there are special features on both releases, and they appear to be exactly the same. There are two featurettes and a deleted scenes option as well. So at least you get special features with this one. I hate the way Disney's doing this, so I am going to go with the cheaper option. So again, the Blu-ray is currently $24.99 on Amazon, and then if you want the 4K Steelbook, you have to go, or if you want the 4K, I should say, you have to go the Steelbook route, and that is currently $51.99. So it's an option, but not an option I'm going to take advantage of. So that is Inside Out 2 hitting Blu-ray and 4K on September 10th. Moving over to a boutique label, we have a Scream Factory release coming in at number 5. This one actually released a couple days ago on September 3rd. This is the 2005 remake of the Amityville Horror. And this one, of course, is getting that 4K upgrade. So Scream Factory is actually releasing a few older titles this month on 4K. You'll see one of those as we continue this list here, but the other one I want to mention a little bit is The Boy, which I do have behind me. I didn't grab it, but it's right up there. I really like that movie, and frankly, I probably should have grabbed that one over this one, but this is the Blu-ray I will upgrade, and I just opened it up, so you can see on the back, this Blu-ray, there are no special features listed whatsoever, but I ended up doing a customization, or I'll shout out Huck, a Huckstomization, and I ended up putting in the DVD here that I had, because I had this on DVD for the longest time, and I just upgraded this Blu-ray maybe a year or two ago, and so I ended up cutting out the old DVD artwork, and you can see all the special features listed there. Now, fortunately, these special features are going to be ported over, or have been ported over, because like I said, this one's already out. They've been ported over to the Scream Factory release, but there are also some new special features on there as well, which is really cool to see. The most notable one being Houses Don't Kill People, which is an interview, I guess, with the director and the composer, I believe. So that one should be really cool, and it's really awesome to see a new special feature on this. So that one is getting upgraded, and frankly, I can now get rid of my customization, because I'll have everything I need in that 4K release, assuming everything looks good, which actually, to be honest, it's upstairs. It just came in a few minutes ago, so I am hoping to watch that tonight and do a review on it, but we'll see where the night takes me tonight. So yeah, this one should be a really cool release. The 4K upgrade is getting both Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grading, which is cool to see. There is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track and a 2.0 track, which from my research, yeah, that's actually not available on this Blu-ray. So I don't know if that's the original audio, theatrical audio experience or what, but it is getting a stereo track on there too, which is cool to see. So should be a pretty good release. I am looking forward to it. This is such a weird movie because it has Ryan Reynolds in a role that you just don't see Ryan Reynolds in a ton, right, with a horror movie. And then it also has a young Chloe Grace Moretz, who has just always been an excellent actress. So I really enjoy that one. Not my favorite horror remake, but one that I really do enjoy. So very much looking forward to revisiting that one, hopefully tonight, so you guys will see a review over the weekend, but that's no promises. Time will tell. So yeah, this one came out at, I want to say $32.99 on Amazon. And like I mentioned, The Boy, which I have up there, I might end up upgrading that one by the end of the month here, because there are actually a ton of new special features for that. And that's the other thing I was was going to mention. The reason I decided to upgrade Amityville Horror over The Strangers, because that was another one that Scream Factory is doing this month, is The Strangers on 4K. But I already own The Strangers on Scream Factory's Blu-ray release, so I already have that in the boutique form. This one, though, as you can see, I just kind of have like the bare bones Blu-ray release. So that's why I decided to go with Amityville over The Strangers. The Boy, I don't know why I didn't. There's just too many things coming out, and those being $33 a pop, you have to pick and choose. I'm already spending enough money this month, so we'll see what I end up doing with The Boy. If I end up canceling my pre-order, maybe that's what I should do now that I'm talking through this. Just cancel my pre-order of The Exorcism since there's nothing on that, and grab the 4K of The Boy since I know I love that movie anyway. I might do that, but we'll see. I'm just kind of rambling now at this point. But anyway, this one came out on September 3rd from Scream Factory. That is the Amityville Horror 2005 remake. Definitely check that out if you are a fan of that film. Apologies for that ramble there. I don't know, just went off on a tangent. But anyway, coming in at number 4 is another 2024 horror film that I saw in theaters and I really enjoyed. This is Long Legs. And this one hits 4K from Decal releasing on September 24th. So this is one that I really wasn't sure what to expect when I went to go see it in theaters, but this ended up being one of my favorite Nick Cage performances that I've seen in a very long time. He is just genuinely weird and creepy in this movie. This is such an interesting film because there's elements in here of movies like Seven, Silence of the Lambs, and even It Follows. That really, those three meshed together at various points is what this one felt like to me. At the same time, though, it does enough unique things by itself that it really does stand on its own as a worthwhile horror film. So the ending on this one is definitely weird, I'll say, and I definitely want to watch it again, but I knew I had to grab this one. I pre-ordered this the instant I saw that it was hitting 4K. I did do a pre-order on this one. So looking forward to revisiting this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'll also mention the 4K on this is nothing to write home about, I guess. It's just an HDR10 color grading and a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. So no Dolby Vision, no Dolby Atmos, which is a bit disappointing, but I think for what this is, I think that'll be totally fine. I love the aesthetic of this film, and it does a lot of unique things with like aspect ratios as well. Very unique horror film, even though it does feel like a mesh of 3 other more popular films. I highly recommend this one either way, even if you don't want to spend the money, which this one is hitting 4K for $29.96 on Amazon right now. Even if you don't want to spend all that on it, definitely watch it somehow. It's probably going to be streaming somewhere, I would imagine. And also, the Blu-ray you can grab for $23.92 as well. So if you want to save a little bit of money, you can go that route. And they do have what appears to be the same set of special features, which there is a on-set interviews with the cast and crew, a director's commentary track, and 3 additional featurettes. So pretty decent amount of special features on this one. And again, the 4K and the Blu-ray do look identical in terms of that. So definitely check this one out if you are a horror fan. I thoroughly enjoyed Long Legs. So this one hits 4K and Blu-ray on September 24th from Decal releasing. I'm going to have a lot to say about this next one as well, because number 3 is another 2024 horror film that I saw in theaters and really enjoyed. This is Late Night with the Devil. This one is hitting Blu-ray here in the States on September 10th from RLJ Entertainment. So this was one of the more unique theatrical experiences I've had this year, because when my buddy and I went to go see it, we saw it in the smallest theater I think I've ever been to. It almost felt like you were in somebody's basement, like their home theater. It was that size. It was pretty small, but it worked really well for this, because this is a found footage hybrid, I will say, and it gave it a more intimate setting that I think works well for a movie like this, because we're following basically a full episode of a late night talk show where they're trying to get ratings up. And so they bring on this individual who is supposedly possessed by a demon, and crazy things are going to happen from there. You know, what's real, what's not, who's lying, that type of thing. And it is a really well done film. It feels extremely unique for, you know, the horror genre today, which you don't get to say all that often, which I did say with Long Legs, but I feel that they're both true. And so I highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. But the release on this one is really interesting because, as I mentioned, it's coming to Blu-ray here in the States, no 4K option. However, overseas, Second Sight is releasing this one on 4K. They're doing both the standard 4K release and a limited edition release. And the limited edition release is really cool because it comes with, I think, postcards and a 120-page booklet included with it as well. So if you're a huge fan of this movie, that's definitely an option. And I will point out the 4K is region free. So doesn't matter where you live. If you want it on 4K, you can go that route. I would recommend either Diabolic DVD or Orbit DVD. Both of those websites have it. I guess I didn't check Diabolic, but Orbit has it for sure because that's where I was looking today. And the standard release is $24.99, and then the limited edition is $49.99. But I'm cheap. I am not going that route. Instead, I am going the Blu-ray route, but I'm not going to go standard Blu-ray. I was fortunate enough, I ended up pre-ordering the Steelbook release of this one, which does have some physical goodies with it as well, which look pretty cool. But the Steelbook, unfortunately, looks like it is not available on Amazon anymore, so that's a bit disappointing, but you can still pick up the standard Blu-ray if that's just the way you want to go on Amazon. Or, like I said, check out orbitdvd.com. You can check out the 4K options, which, again, the price is not bad. Now, you do have to include shipping on Orbit, and it's only about $5. They basically charge you whatever the media mail price is, so it's reasonable for a shipping cost. So the US Blu-ray has a commentary track, a Q&A with the directors, and a behind-the-scenes featurette. So another one that you are getting some extra items, which makes it a little bit more worthwhile. So the standard Blu-ray right now on Amazon is only $20.49, so a very reasonable price. And I think I paid $25.79 for the Steelbook version, just as a reference. So again, very interesting movie with a really odd release here. So this one hits on September 10th on Blu-ray in the US. So definitely worth checking that one out if you're interested in seeing this film. Moving back over to another boutique label, this time Arrow Video. Number 2 is Friday the 13th, and this is the 2009 remake. This one is hitting 4K from Arrow on September 17th. Now, this is a movie that if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said, I love this remake. But talking about it now, ever since I rewatched it for last October's 30 horror movie challenge, I like the movie. But I don't think it held up quite as well as I was hoping it would. Admittedly, I'm a lot older now, and I did find the characters a little bit more annoying, but I'm older, I'm grumpier, that's just the way things go, right? But that said, I do think this is a really well done horror remake. That opening 20 minutes is so awesome. I love that aspect of it, and then the characters do start getting annoying from there. But either way, I do think this is a really good movie that I'm really happy to see hitting a release from Arrow Video. Like, never would I have guessed this film to get the Arrow Video treatment. So this is just an awesome release to see, and hopefully it means we get more from this era, because this is my era of horror. The mid to late 2000s is my era. I love that era of the horror film. That's the torture era, right? That's when I was in high school, so that's when everything was new to me, and I loved that. So I love seeing this era of horror films getting the boutique treatment. But anyway, this one is getting the full Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grade treatment, which is great to see. On the audio front, there is no upgrade there. It is still the same DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track, but I had no issues with that the last time I watched this one last year, so that should still be fine. Now, on the special features front, there are quite a lot of new special features included here, plus a lot of those legacy special features as well, which is always cool to see. But on this one, you get 2 new audio commentary tracks for the theatrical cut. You have 3 new interviews and an exclusive video essay about horror remakes, which, if you guys know me, you know I am a huge fan of horror remakes, and so this is one I am super interested in. Not only that, but you do get some physical goodies with this one as well. I think there's some postcards and a little booklet included too, which is always fun to see. So I'm just really excited about this release. And the other really cool thing about this that I almost forgot to mention is that it is including both the theatrical cut and the unrated cut on 4K. That doesn't normally happen, including with the next release I'm going to talk about. So the fact that we're getting both cuts on 4K is definitely a bonus. So very excited about this release. And right now, because Barnes & Noble is currently doing the 50% off Arrow Video sale, Amazon is price matching, so it's only $24.99 right now on Amazon, which is a really, really good price for this. So definitely pre-order it now, because if you weren't aware, whenever you pre-order something on Amazon, number one, you don't get charged until the item ships, so that's always a bonus. You don't have to have the money up front. And then number two, if you locked in your pre-order a month ago, whatever the cheapest price is between when you locked your pre-order in and when it releases, you're guaranteed to get that lowest price. So if you lock your price in, or you lock your pre-order in today at $24.99, you will not pay more than $24.99. Even if it's $50 on release day, you're still going to pay $24.99, which is why I almost do all of my pre-ordering through Amazon. Now, Walmart, unfortunately, they charge right away, and they don't have any price match guarantee like that, but that's why I like Amazon pre-orders. So keep that in mind if you weren't already aware, which probably all of you already were, but there might be one. You never know. So again, this Arrow video release on 4K hits on September 17th rather, of Friday the 13th, 2009. We have finally made it to number one on today's list, and this is going to be another Scream Factory 4K release. This is Doomsday from 2008, and this one is coming out on September 17th. Now, I'm going to guess that a lot of you probably, if you've heard of this film, you probably haven't seen this one, because this is a super underrated, under-discussed gem from director Neil Marshall. Now, that name is probably familiar because he is very well known for his horror films The Descent, one of my favorites, and Dog Soldiers, which is another Scream Factory release. And so that's probably how, if you know the name, that's probably how you know him. But with Doomsday, this is a post-apocalyptic thriller. Horror, it might even be a stretch. It's more of an action horror film, but it is, that same vein. And it's such a good movie. It's been a number of years since I've seen this one, but the fact that this is getting a 4K release, another one that just completely took me by surprise. Never would have guessed that this one was going to get a 4K upgrade from Scream Factory, but so happy to see this. And I'll mention the 4K is getting the full Dolby Vision color grading treatment along with HDR10. Again, no Dolby Atmos on this one. You're going to go back to that DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track, but it should look awesome. This is a super stylized film, and frankly, with 4K, that can be hit or miss. It's either going to make it look really awesome, or it's going to show its flaws and make it look very dated, but we'll see. This is another one I cannot wait to pick up. On top of the fact that this is just getting the 4K treatment, it's also getting 7 brand new special features on here in the form of interviews. There's also a behind the scenes featurette, and then a couple new audio commentary tracks on this one as well. Now, I will mention the theatrical cut, that is getting the 4K disc. Unfortunately, the unrated version, that one is getting the Blu-ray treatment. So it stinks that we're not getting both of them on 4K, but that's typical Scream Factory for you. Either way, the fact that this movie is getting the boutique treatment, amazing. I am so excited about this, and hopefully it opens the door, opens the eyes of people that, what am I trying to say? Hopefully with this 4K treatment, more people will see this film and can appreciate it like I do, because I love this movie. And this isn't even my favorite of Neil Marshall's. My favorite of his, if you looked at my IMDb ratings, the one I gave 9 out of 10 is Centurion. That movie is amazing. I love that film, and I hope to God that one also gets the Scream Factory or Arrow Video or whoever. I want that one to get the boutique treatment as well. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking that one out as well. It's available on Blu-ray. I don't know how readily available that Blu-ray is, but I don't know, seek it out any way you can. That movie is awesome, and I would love to see that one get the same treatment. But anyway, Doomsday, fantastic film, highly recommend it. It is a bit pricey at $32.99 on Amazon right now, so if you haven't seen it, maybe, I don't know, see if it's streaming somewhere first, I don't know, but definitely worth checking out one way or another. Neil Marshall is one of my favorites. I think he's just such a great director, and he just doesn't get talked about enough. Dog Soldiers gets a lot of talk nowadays just because, again, it got that Scream Factory release, but even The Descent, which is behind me here, that one doesn't have a boutique release, which I find ridiculous. I would love to see a box set of Descent Part 1 and Part 2. Maybe Second Sight will do something with those. But either way, that needs the boutique treatment. But one of my favorite directors. I love this movie. Cannot wait for this 4K release, which again, Scream Factory is releasing Doomsday from 2008 on September 17th. And it is currently $32.99 on Amazon. Highly recommend checking this one out if you've never seen this movie before. Before we wrap things up here, I do want to talk about the monthly cost that purchasing all of these is going to be. Now, like I said, I have all these pre-ordered, but there is always a chance to change something if I change my mind as we get closer to the release dates. But right now, as you guys are probably seeing on the screen, if I were to get all 7 of these releases that I talked about today, I would be spending $189.70. So definitely not a cheap month for new releases, but frankly, I think they are totally worth it because I love some of these movies that are coming out this month, and 6 of the 7 I've already seen, and frankly, I might swap out The Boy for The Exorcism. That one might get switched, and so then I would have seen all of the new releases I pick up, but either way, this is going to be an awesome month. But I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. What are you picking up in the month of September? I know there are other bigger releases that I didn't talk about today, but these are the ones that I'm most interested in. So now I'd love to hear what you're most interested in. Leave your thoughts on these releases and anything else down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to me. Before you take off, if you could hit that like button, that engagement really does help me out. So again, thanks so much for making it to the end. Before you all leave, I will just encourage you all to consume some media today. Thanks again, and I will catch you all next time.